All right, I'm going to show you how to create a logo. Here is one example that I have here. And now I'm going to do the abstract one. So I'm going to go up to my frames and I'm going to select another frame. Right here they have a whole bunch of different options, and I want us to do the Instagram. Now if you know you're doing Twitter or whatnot, please choose correctly. So if you come here, frame, Twitter posts are going to be very different size than Instagram. So how does that work? How does your logo work? I'm going to stay with Instagram because that was what my pitch was. And first thing I want to do here is I want to get my photo that I did of my drawing. So there's the flower one, and there's my abstract one. So I want to move the abstract one into here. To do that, you have to go up to this top bar. This top bar pretty much has all of the tools you need. Underneath the logo is some more assets on how to use it, save it, and arrange, type, vector, object, view. All of these are things that you could use to create your image. But we're going to go under the square, which is shapes, and under shapes we have image. So I'm going to go there, grab my image. It'll take me to a desktop. I'm going to make sure I'm selecting the right image, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to place it. Now you can see here on the side I have options. I can center it. This is my fill, is my image. So what I want to do first is I kind of want to position it. So I can see right now that this is really large. So I am going to move it backwards. So first off, I want to be able to see more of the screen. So Control or Command minus or plus will allow you to go back and forth of the screen. Control minus or plus, Command minus or plus. So Command minus will allow me to go back. Now I can see the actual image, and I can bring the image and kind of drag it around to get it to the space. Now, if I go to one of these corners, I can also just slide it and rotate it to get it exactly where I want. All right, once it's positioned into the space, I want to make sure that I lock it, because I'm going to use this as a guide to draw my image out, and I don't want to accidentally move it. And now that it's locked, I won't move it. So I'm locking it. I'm making sure I'm going to the right frame. So this is the frame for my abstract. All right, so I've changed the name to abstract. You can see that this one says flower pot, this says abstract. These are my two sketches. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide this entirely so I don't get distracted with the second one, and focus on my abstract one. Again, to increase the size to bring it in view, I can do Command minus or plus. So Command plus, this is also Control on PCs. And now I have it kind of in the view that I need. So the next thing is I want to go up and look at all my tools. Now some of these could just be shapes, like this is a circle, these are lines, 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 circle. So I can use shapes if I wanted to, if I've made a simple enough form that I would like to just do a shape. So remember that we have looked at our branding, and we want to make sure that we're staying with the colors for the branding. So mine are lavenders and purples and greens. Once you choose a color, you'll get available colors on the bottom. So I just did fill, there's strokes, there's effects. Check these out. Effects are kind of fun if I wanted to do a drop shadow, which I do not. So now to these other shapes. So there are two options. Well, there's multiple options. There's a line here that I could use to do the lines. Or I can go to a pencil or a pen. I would highly recommend, unless you are used to using a pen in previous software like Illustrator and Photoshop and InDesign, I would stay with pencil. So I'm going to go to the pencil and then I'm just going to trace over my forms. Now, you might want to make this a little bit more different and a little more unique. This is the time to kind of finalize. You can always go back and delete. I didn't like that, so I can go back. Always, when something's not working right, either I click on the outside of the page, or I go to the arrow, my move. So if I'm somehow can't move around this that I wanted to move, I will undo, which is Control or Command Z. You can probably see undos here. In Edit, Undo, Redo. So if I want to move and I'm having problems doing anything, I just double click and you can see I'm unclicked. I can go to the move and then I can click on what I want to click. You can also see that it's highlighting over here. So if you want, it would be good to also name these as you're going. I'm just going to delete this to show that you can delete it, and then I can start again. So rectangle is obvious, and then this could be just called line. Maybe top, so I know it's the top lines. And then I'm going to grab the pencil tool and I'm going to go for it again. And then my other one. So that's great. I've got line top, my 3 line tops. And then I can also select them all. And I'm doing a command click on my mouse. But let's look at objects. And under objects, there might be a way to group selection. So that's also Control or Command G. The nice thing about that is it just keeps these things a little bit more organized. So I can just call this again line top. So these are all my line tops. So I want all my line tops to be the same color. So I can go into my stroke and I can just change them all to the color I want. Now, if I don't want them the same color, I can still go to double click onto the lower level and I can change these to a different color. All right, so once you did that, if you ever want to look and see how it's coming along, you can just do the eyeball. All right, so we got our lines, we've got our rectangle. We don't really need it, label it. It is what it is. So let's go to this little circle here. Well, I kind of indicated that I really wanted this filled in. So the obvious choice here is maybe to find an ellipse so that I can use this shape. And then again, I want to go to maybe a purple. And then this is ellipse 1 is fine. And then here we have this little squiggly that I'm going to do again with a pencil. All right, I didn't like that. I can hit delete, but I have to go to move first because it's not selected. Select it, delete it. And let's try that again. And then what else you can do, which is great. Again, sometimes when I'm done with the pencil or tool, I'll go back to move just to know that it's not selected. I'll select it again, and this panel comes up on the side, allowing me to edit that line a little bit more. So again, I can change it. If there's colors I already have available, that's great. I can make new colors. And I can turn the eyeball off, and that would take it off the stroke. If I want to do fill, I can fill it here. I also can change the size. So my drawing is a little bit thicker than the line I have here. So let's see what 10 looks like. And then I'm going to go for the rest. So I want a line across here. If I want to try the pen tool, I could. So click, and then I would shift. And then it will want you to do a whole shape. And you don't have to, you can just go to the move tool. Remember when I was saying the move tool is you're kind of way out of things. Also, if you just click on the edge, it will unclick. Now I'm back to the line, and I'm going to change this to green. I'm going to start making these lower colors green, and I want this one definitely to be thicker. Let's do 20. And then I want another line on the other side. So again, I'm going to go to the move to kind of make sure I'm off of that line. I'm going to go back to the pen tool, hope that I'm kind of lining it up, and select, and then I do shift to make sure the line is solid. And then I go back to that move tool to unclick to make sure that I'm not linked to it. So again, what we have, if I look at it without the drawing behind it, is this. Next, I have the lines going down. Go back to the pencil and just kind of draw them out. Making sure I'm not selecting anything else, I can just go ahead and draw these. So click. So if I did the pen tool, I might get a very perfect line, especially, but it will ask for me to kind of go back and make another move. And again, if things look weird, click on the side, not on your actual frame, but on the side of your frame, and then go back to where you want, and then delete it. A pencil, because I don't want them all to look different. I want them to look like they're the same goofy hand stroke. All right, so last is this circle, the pencil. It's a continuous circle. If you stop, it'll stop drawing. And when you come back up, this is the very tricky part. You need to make sure that they actually select. If they don't actually select, they won't fill in and make a full shape. So I am no longer on that shape, nothing's selected, so I go back to the move and I click on it. And if we get really close, we can see those two lines are not actually connected. So I'm going to want to click on it, double click, and I want to actually make them connected. Then I can actually fill this. And if I want to take the stroke off, which I think I do, I can take the stroke off by turning the eye off. Now again, I want to go out. I've gotten really close, so Command or Control minus to bring it out. Now some of the things here, again, I want to make sure I'm off of this, so I can click on the side and make sure I'm off. You come back. So the problem with being on it when it has this, it's making me move just those dots. And I don't want to just move the dots, I want to move the whole thing. So I want to unclick, make sure I'm on move, and select it, and see now I can move the actual whole object. I'm moving the whole object to make it bigger, to kind of create more space with this abstract form. And you know, you can do that with all of this stuff. You select it and then just kind of adjust it if you want. If you go to any of the edges here, you can move and change. You can also Command or Control C and then Command or Control V, and you can get paste. So I thought, well, maybe we can just do that. Copy or Control C and then copy Control V for pasting. And again, I could select all of them and move them up to get more of this linear line here. Copy, Control, copy, paste. And it's pasting right on top of the other one, which is nice, so spacing's correct. So I just did a copy and paste, which is the Control C, Control V, so that I can make another one of these. I can make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to do a Command or Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to make it smaller than the one that was in there. And I'm going to change it to the white. So this is a way for me to get that little circle that I had in the beginning of the drawing. So I'm just fussing here, and now I can take it and I can reduce the size if that's kind of what I want. I could make this is where the digital part becomes interesting, is that I can copy this whole thing. And if I do copy this whole thing, I would make all of this by going into Object, into a group. So that was under Objects, Select Groups. So under the icon for Figma, and then Objects, Select Group. And then once I do that, I can just copy this one, Command C, Command V. And now I have two of these. And then if I want to do more, I can do Command C, Command V, and I have more of them. So here I have created a pattern. If I wanted to change the pattern around and make them and remember, it's just going to copy right on top, so I need to bring it over. And now this is my second logo that I did digitally. All right, so I have a pattern logo. One of these could be the pattern. One of these could be the actual logo. I can put them together as a pattern. I can change the color out. I can make it even bigger pattern. You can see how this could grow and become more